You are listening to the Cattle Call podcast. This is the place where computer-aided design and drafting meets humor and practicality, with a touch of business acumen thrown in for fun. Jim and Rocco, the owners of Zentech Consultants, the premier U.S. technology consulting firm for architecture, engineering, construction, and manufacturing, discuss the fascinating world of CAD with some humor and some honesty. The Cattle Call podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Cattle Call podcast with Jim and Rocco from Zentech Consultants. I am Jim, your loquacious and charming host, and with me, as always, is my friend and partner.
Hello, it's Rocco.
Hey, at least we got a hello out of him. He's not as frumpy and depressing today as he normally is. You must have some coffee in your bloodstream today.
A little bit of coffee.
A little bit of coffee goes a long way. I have some here myself, so we're all set. So, all right. So
beer goes even longer, but
it does. Except beer will put me to sleep, and then you'll have to do the show by yourself, which probably isn't a bad thing. It's probably a better show that way. But I actually have to justify my existence somehow.
There you go.
There you go. So, all right. So today our topic for today is PDFs taking over the quantity takeoff world. So yeah, what I want to do is just kind of want to visit this topic of
Vid
it. I make up my own words as I go. It's like kafeve, it's vid it. I just make them up. Who knows? At least I don't put them out on Twitter, so I guess that's a plus. So, all right. So anyway, what I want to talk about is quantity takeoff and estimating, and how technology has been kind of shifting that whole world. And I think, one of the biggest changes over the last decade or so has really been towards the use of simple PDF construction documents as a primary tool for quantity takeoff. And when I say, using PDFs, right, I'm not talking about just getting the construction documents as a PDF and then printing them out and doing your takeoff. I'm not even talking about just, using the PDF on screen, right, and just kind of panning and zooming to count objects, and then you're writing down the numbers on a pad or typing them into a spreadsheet. That's not what we're talking about here today. We're talking about using software tools that are designed and optimized around automating the process with PDFs as their primary interface. And there are a number of really effective tools out there for this type of work, and we're going to talk about a few of those. But I really want to stress that the availability and the ease of use and user familiarity with PDFs kind of in general has made this one of the fastest growing markets in the construction industry. It is growing even faster in the current market, I think, because we're facing such a severe shortage of skilled estimators, right, and project managers that are available out there in the construction space. And I think that a PDF-based quantity takeoff and estimating system that's really easy to use, and it bumps up the accuracy and the speed of your estimates is one of the best answers to those shortages. These tools let your current staff, right, the guys that you actually already have and trust, generate more takeoffs more accurately and in a lot less time. So, Rocco, let's start with the interest level here. Have you seen a surge in people looking to add these kinds of systems, or even talking with folks who already own them but are looking to just learn to use them more effectively?
Yeah, it's a pretty steady drumbeat of people that look for interests. I mean, it's they're looking for ways to be more effective and more efficient, more productive. Mm-hmm. Like you say, there's a shortage of people, so you gotta look for tools that are gonna get your job done quicker as well. It's not just a matter of having 20 people on a job. You gotta look at the technology that's out there that's constantly changing, and so the short answer is yes.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I mean, also with the shifting prices and everything, and the expenses that we can't really cover, even if you do have people, just making them more efficient is always going to help. So. I really think that the key to this whole concept we're talking about here today is that the simple PDF is ubiquitous in the construction world, right? 9 times out of 10, that's all we get from the architects and engineers anymore, right? paper documents are just too expensive to print and distribute, and nobody, not the designers, not the owners, not the GCs, nobody wants to bear that cost. Just kind of put it into perspective, right? The average cost of a single D-size 24 by 36 plot is $7.50 per sheet. All right, so just think about that. If you're working like a 200 plus sheet of construction docs, that's $1,500 for every set of drawings that you print out. That's a crazy figure. PDFs, on the other hand, are essentially free, right? You can just print them. They're easy to distribute. They can be revised and updated and shared around on the fly. They're also a lot more portable and reliable than a rolled up set of wet, moldy, mud covered prints that are sitting on the floor of your pickup truck. PDFs, I think, have also been around for so long that everyone's comfortable with the basic visual controls for them, right? A lot of the folks in the construction world really already have very solid PDF editing skills, right? Having worked with tools like Acrobat Pro and things like that in the past to generate forms and business documents, like specifications and contracts and so on, and those skills transition really nicely into a PDF-based takeoff system. It's usually just a matter of taking the time to train up a little bit on the takeoff system tools, right? And how to work on screen with that versus the old school on paper setup. Rocco, do you see a lot of companies that are looking to train on these systems? And if so, right, what job titles are they looking to train? Are they looking to train up just their estimators, or are there other people in the company looking to get comfortable in those systems as well?
Yeah, there's like a steady beat of people that look for training all the time. Obviously, we do a lot of training on Bluebeam, and we partner with a firm that does training on PlanSwift, and we'll get into the specific technology in a bit, but there's definitely a continuous need for training, and folks are it's not just the internal staff. I mean, we train a lot of even like a lot of superintendents, a lot of field folks, a lot of project managers, assistant project managers. So it's across the board.
Yeah, and I think that's really the benefit of the systems that we work with, and we're going to talk a little bit that as we go through today. But drawing in everybody in your company to work in these formats really has major benefits. Another benefit I see with working with a PDF-based takeoff system is that it makes it a lot easier to share with other people outside your company for input, review, for pricing. The PDFs make it really easy to update the takeoffs, right? When you get that, the 15th revision from the architect who seems to change his mind on what he wants every other day. And it even makes it easy to keep track of, specific changes that were made and who initiated them and why and so on. The better PDF-based takeoff systems even include, central file hosting and project management tools for, tracking progress on, what's been ordered, what's been delivered to the site, what's been installed, and so on. And you can do that right off the original estimates. And what I really like about that is it gives you the ability kind of after the fact, right? If you're looking at your jobs and doing postmortems, you can easily understand and track, what was good and what was problematic on every job, right? So that each estimate you do gets a little bit faster, a little bit more accurate, a little bit easier. And I think that's really how you fight back against, labor and material shortages, folks, right? I mean, efficiency is always the right answer. One thing I will point out, though, is that, those project management tools in these systems are usually ones that get the least use, which I think is a really big mistake. I think what happens, right, is because we're really talking about, quantity takeoff tools. I think the labeling throws people. The only ones who ever seem to look at them or learn to use them in a lot of firms are the estimators. And they learn only the processes that relate to their work. And that's certainly understandable, right? But I think there is a huge potential in most of these systems to really build a genuinely collaborative and intuitive, bid-build process right in-house with user-friendly tools. I think it's just a question of getting, the project managers and the project executives, like Rocco was saying before, the field guys and the supers and, everybody on the project, right? To take a look at the tools that they don't think apply to them, right? These PDF-based tools apply to just about everybody in your firm. And I suggest that, you start that conversation in your own company by doing, something crazy like, I don't know, maybe sharing today's podcast with them. There's an idea, right? So there you go. So, get a copy and share it around with everybody. So, all right. So with that, I think here's a good time to take a quick break to listen to today's sponsor. And when we come back, I want to talk about some of the actual software packages in this space and the different processes that they offer. All right, so stand by, folks. We'll be back in just a minute with more of the Cattle Call Podcast. Hello, everybody. This is Jim and Rocco with Zentech Consultants, and we wanted to talk to you today about Bluebeam Review, the premier quantity takeoff estimating and markup software for PDF out there on the market today. And at Zentech, we are a premier Bluebeam partner here in the U.S. We're here to help you guys with all your Bluebeam needs, from software sales to training, consulting, configuration, and everything in between in all things Bluebeam, from the standard version to the extreme version and anything else you might need. So, in terms of Bluebeam, Rocco, how do people reach out to us if they want to start that conversation?
Yeah, just hit up our website, give us a ring, or send us an email, or through Osmosis. That works too.
Osmosis is good.
Yeah, zentechconsultants.net. or sales@zentechconsultants.net, or give us a ring, 866-824-4459.
All right, Zentech Consultants, your home for all of your Bluebeam software needs. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Cattle Call Podcast, where we're talking about using PDFs, right, for all of your construction takeoff and estimating needs, as well as how those same tools can be used for project management and systems tracking. So, let's start this half with the software systems that we have working within this space. The reality is, there are dozens of very small trade-specific tools available on the market for things like, plumbing and electrical, but they're very limited in capabilities when you're looking at large-scale work. When it comes to the big players, the wide open estimating systems in this market, I think there are really three main, softwares we're going to look at here today. We're going to talk about on-screen takeoff, or OST, PlanSwift, right, and Bluebeam, which is, as always, you guys know, my personal favorite. And there are other estimating systems out there, right, from big companies like, ProEst and Sage, and even Autodesk has been trying to get into this market. But the problem that I have with them is that they're all proprietary systems that require their own file types and processes, and that means that anybody you want to share and work with has to buy their software too. All right, and that's not what we're talking about today. We're trying to stay with the systems that make it easy to work just in standard PDF formats, right, and freely share those files as you need. Okay, so Rocco, obviously, right, our listeners know we're Bluebeam partners, and you talk with a lot of folks about Bluebeam's capabilities. Right, but do you run across a lot of people using other quantity takeoff systems? And is it usually, OST and PlanSwift, or are there other players that I'm missing?
Yeah, those are definitely the three most popular ones. I mean, I run across people that use like Stack every now and then, or AccuBid, but for the most part, it's OST, Bluebeam, and PlanSwift.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I usually get with our folks too. All right, so let's start with on-screen takeoff, OST. It's a really useful tool in this space, and it works really well with PDFs. Right, it's got solid takeoff capabilities, and it's got real great abilities when it comes to assembly level estimating, and it's probably the best of these systems. If you're looking to work with external pricing data and kind of import it into your takeoff. The limitation I think that I find with OST is that its output and reporting features are kind of limited. It has its own built-in report formatting, but I just find it's not easy to use. And I also think that on-screen takeoff lacks quite a bit actually in terms of the project management tool. It doesn't really have any good collaboration and real world process tracking and communication tools. I think it's a really great software, right, for quantity takeoff, but I do kind of feel that that's really all OST is. I mean, and like I said, that's not to say it isn't fantastic for what it does, right? And I know a lot of folks who really love this program, but most of those people are just pure estimators. That's all they're doing with it, right? So Rocco, in terms of capabilities, right, are people looking? Do you find that they're looking mostly for just estimating capability like OST has, or are people really looking for those more robust collaboration features?
It depends on what you do. It depends on your title, right? But I mean, a lot of people in general look for those collaboration tools. I mean, the markup tools, the ability to share files, especially nowadays, right? Who's working in the office, who's working from home, who's working in the field. So collaboration is definitely a big thing.
Yeah. And I think it's something you get, anybody who's listening, you definitely want to look at those collaboration tools and what their capacities are. Even if you think you don't need it, I'm pretty sure you do. That's how you stay competitive, being a step ahead.
That gets down to, again, about being efficient and productive. I mean, could you build a house without any machines?
Sure.
Yes.
Do you want to? Probably not. Not unless you got a lot of those beers Rocco's holding over there on his side of the room. Damn.
Exactly.
He don't even share them with me. The guy's mean. So the next big player really in this is PlanSwift, and that's a software I'm pretty comfortable talking about because Zentech, we used to be a PlanSwift partner, right? So I've done a good bit of work in that system, and PlanSwift has an absolutely brilliant assembly level estimating structure to it, right? It really is, for my money, it's the best one on the market for that, and I think it also has a really, really nice interface for building pricing into your estimates and sorting all the sub items in an assembly, right? So, and what I mean by that with assembly level estimating, right? To kind of put it in other words, if you want to take just a measurement of the linear footage along a wall and have a system that calculates, how much gypsum board, how much spackle, how much insulation, right? How many nails am I going to need per square foot, and how much are all of those items going to cost? And you want to do that with one click, then PlanSwift is the way to go. No doubt, it's great at that. The only, the negative, I guess, that I see with PlanSwift is that, while it still works with the standard PDF file, that's not the native format for the PlanSwift system. It's really designed around working with large scanned images, TIFFs and JPEGs and PNGs, and the PDF interface. It can be really slow and clunky and kind of frees up your system sometimes. I will also say that their graphics are a little stiff and outdated as well. With PlanSwift, I always struggled a bit in getting the tools to measure right to the exact points I needed easily. But overall, PlanSwift is an absolutely fantastic tool in terms of estimating. But again, in terms of project management capabilities and that collaboration side, it really doesn't have any. It is primarily just a quantity takeoff tool, an estimating tool. Though I will also throw in, it does have real nice reporting capabilities, but those do require a lot of customization time and setup, which can be a turnoff for some folks. So Rocco, I mean, we used, or we used to be rather, PlanSwift partners, right? But we went our separate ways. What was kind of the big motivation behind Zentech moving on from that system? It wasn't because it was a bad system in any way.
No, we just didn't see a ton of people using it, and like you just said, the complexity in setting it up, can turn people off. I mean, it all comes down to what your specific needs are. Mm-hmm. We still partner with somebody who does quite a bit of training and configuration around PlanSwift, and if you guys want to talk about that, definitely feel free to reach out to us. But that's the core reason why people are looking for faster, simpler, solutions.
Right. Which is where we, on my end, on the tech side, right, it's kind of where we made that jump. And my recommendation there was to move to our last product, which was Bluebeam Review, which is without a doubt the most widely used and, to my mind, the most powerful tool in this particular discussion. Bluebeam is a native PDF writer, right? Just like Adobe Acrobat Pro. If you guys aren't aware of it, you can actually dump your current Acrobat licenses and for everybody in your company and use just one single software for everything from your business documents and contracts all the way into advanced estimating on large format construction documents, which is really cool. It definitely, your IT guys will love that. Just having to support one single system makes their life a lot easier. And Bluebeam is a broad-based estimating and collaboration system that can really be adapted to any type of large-scale takeoff, right? From civil to structural, even manufacturing folks using it. It lets you build reusable sets of common tools. It can be centralized and distributed to all your users. But I think really it's best set up here, and it has by far the best project management and collaboration tools of any of the softwares in this market. Bluebeam Studio is included with every purchase, right, which lets you host kind of an unlimited number of files in the cloud and share them with anyone, as well as letting you have hundreds of people marking up the same files at the same time. And that gives you real-time collaboration between field and office, which is amazing, right? One of the things I really love about Studio, and whenever I do classes, one of the first things I show people is that you can open up a Studio session with all of your files in it, the entire construction document set, and let that session run for the lifespan of your job. This way you can track every change, every comment, every reply, every update made by every single stakeholder on the job. And you can even track and report on those changes and alterations for accountability. Right? And another major project management tool built into Bluebeam is their status tracking tools. Which lets you assign workflows. We'll say your personal internal workflows to every single line item, right? So you can easily, with just a click of a button, right, see what's been approved, right, what's been rejected, what's on back order, what's been delivered to the site, what's out for RFI, anything at all that you need to track. And it's really easy to customize and build multiple tracking workflows for different folks within your company. And I think that's really an amazing capability, right? That's really where the power of Bluebeam starts to kind of shine through. And I will say, right, to be fair, right, even though we are Bluebeam refs, there is a big negative that I always throw out here on Bluebeam. It really does not do a very good job on the assembly level estimating stuff that we were talking about before. It's more of a broad spectrum takeoff tool. And the other thing that always, and I'm hoping they're going to fix this, they keep talking about fixing this in future updates, Bluebeam is not really good about importing external data into the takeoff. It's fantastic about exporting it and writing it out to other formats so you can put it into other systems, but bringing in pricing data and things like that into Bluebeam, I get people asking me about that all the time, and there's just really no good way to do that. So that's kind of the drawbacks there on that system. All right. Rocco, Bluebeam is one of our big partners here at Centec, right? But what tools do you think keep bringing customers to the table to talk with us about the Bluebeam system?
What tools within Bluebeam itself?
Yeah, I mean, what is it? Like I said, we're always, like you said, talking with people on Bluebeam. It's one of our big movers. We're always doing projects and customizations. What are the big features in Bluebeam that people find so interesting?
Yeah, it's a takeoff and estimating and the markup features. Those are really the most. I mean, we definitely encourage people to use the collaboration, that's available within Bluebeam Studio, and a lot of people use it, but a lot of people just don't make the time to learn about it,
right.
And like you said, you have it at your fingertips, so you should definitely, especially if you're working with with a larger team and a team that's dispersed, it's just a no-brainer to use it. But the core tools are the markup and estimating tools. And by the way, we happen to have a series of tools that we built here at Zentec that run right inside of Bluebeam.
There you go. All focused around takeoff and estimating for things like structural steel and HVAC, and we're working on some for electrical and plumbing and other things. So stay with us. We'll tell you all about those when those come out. So look. So I look at it like this, right? At the end of the day, whichever system that you choose to roll with, I think the key is using the PDF structure. so that all of the different players on your project can easily access and share information from a common source file that they can all access without spending $20,000 on new software. After that, it really comes down to which features are most important for the particular type of work that you do. And how much benefit do you see? Like Greg was saying, how much benefit is there for you in collaboration and response tracking and project management tools? To me, those are vital tools, right? But every firm is different, and you might disagree with me. And that's okay. But I will say, you should at least look at those project management tools in the system that you choose and discuss those with your management staff to see if maybe you are underestimating the need for those in your office. Okay, so just something to think on. So with that, I think we can get out of here and let everybody get back to your day. Say goodbye to the people, Rocco.
Goodbye, people.
And we'll catch you next time on the Cattle Call Podcast. All right, everybody. Today's Cattle Call was brought to you courtesy of Zentech Consultants. That's Rocco and I. Zentech Consultants works with design and manufacturing firms to help our clients purchase and implement the software that they need in these complex industries. We provide a single point of contact for clients to buy, develop, and learn the most vital software systems for your specific needs. Zentech strives to be your trusted technology partner from your initial needs all the way through long-term support and training for your entire staff. So Rocco, why don't you tell them how to reach out to Zentech?
All right, yeah, you can reach out to us through zentechconsultants.net. You can email us at sales@zentechconsultants.net, or you can even call us, 866-824-4459.
Excellent. We look forward to hearing from y'all.